between the Arizona Cardinals and the Dallas Cowboys. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
Set, 180.
Check 55, Mike. You remember me? You remember me? That's pretty hot.
They'll run for the first time with Tevin Coleman. He'll have a first down past the 40 and all the way up to the 46. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
Coming in, he really liked his chance of having a big year based on a terrific offseason. And runs like that on opening weekend show that he's right.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10.
Hey, 22. Middle.
Kill. Turn up. Kill.
5.
55, Mike, got 55.
Out of the gun, Stafford. Almost able to intercept it. That's one he would have liked to have held on to on this first drive. Instead, 2nd down.
Pretty nice coverage there, but a missed opportunity for an interception. Let's face it, a lot of these defenders, they've got it all. Speed, athleticism, hands, a little bit questionable.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Hey, 70.
Watch out.
To throw again, Stafford. Man open, that's Calvin Ridley. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Cardinals' 25-yard line. And a nice start there to the aerial attack to pick up the first.
And I think preseason is officially over now. Getting into the groove of the regular season, that's a great way to get started. First drive of the season, what a nice completion.
So into Cardinal territory now. It's 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. Here's Stafford. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. Add the gain here to the previous play, and it's better than 40 yards total.
Partner, they weren't quite in the red zone, but things are starting to get condensed on the field. Throwing the corner route there, really nice play because it gives them a little bit of room to complete it.
20. Get it, 20.
And let's pin the mirrors back and go.
They'll run with Coleman on first down. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. A 10-yard touchdown run. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Parkey adds the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Now after the score, it's Parkey on to kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get it up just past the 20, and his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line.
Zebra.
56. Let's go. Right 56.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. He's got his all-pro receiver, Michael Thomas. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
Here's a 4-receiver look now. 3 of those guys out to the right side on 2nd and 8. Now Wilson. as pressure gets there this time for the sack. Credit the sack to Joey Bosa. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
3rd and long. It's Wilson. And this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety. So troubles here offensively. I tell you, the noise in this dome, that has got to make it harder for these guys to hear.
Sometimes I find myself shouting up here. But you're right. If you can't communicate well or get off the snap count properly, it can cause big problems. And this qualifies as a big problem.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. They were successful last time finding the end zone on their opening drive of the season, and they'll get another shot here with a 1st and 10. Stafford now to throw. And Callaway taking it in left side. The drive starting with a 1st down, 11 yards on that pickup. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Alert 3, alert 3.
22 jet bomber, 22 jet bomber.
From the gun, here's Stafford. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the 1st down completion.
And coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
On 2nd down, it's Coleman. And some space here. Touchdown, Cowboys! Tevin Coleman with his 2nd touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. Now Parkey for the extra point. And that will make this a 16-point lead. Now after the score, it's Parkey on to kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the 1st half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a
ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off at the 45, and they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. He was trying to hit Thomas that time.
This interception will go on the record of the quarterback, but as a receiver, you've got to understand where you are in the field. Middle portion, you know it's going to come in hot. Square your body to the quarterback and be ready to make the catch.
Good starting position for the Cowboys here as they come up 1st and 10. Now this is Callaway on the receiving end. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a 1st down.
That's good for our Cowboys. 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line.
Set. 180.
Check 55 to Mike. Check.
Easy alert. By 54.
55 Mike, guys, 55.
On 1st down, Stafford here. And he fires one incomplete. The intended target was Calvin Ridley, but it'll be 2nd down. By the way, I got to apologize because I just realized for about the last 4 or 5 plays, I'm eking over into your territory up here in the booth. My bad. I'm going to get back over to my spot.
Yeah, we're not talking about our on-air commentary. I mean, what is all this extra paper? I mean, this is unusual for you.
My bad.
Normally you run a really tight ship. What's going on here?
Just like that incomplete pass, I'm going to try to tighten things. And a big one loss here as he's taken down. The tank, DeMarcus Lawrence with a sack.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things that's gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget.
Ready? 250, 21.
Here we go, D. Here I come. Here I come. Hey, check right, check right. Watch it, 5.
Third and long. It's Stafford. Wide open receiver complete. 30 yards there. And, of course, the first down as well. How about this first quarter for them throwing the football?
This defense has zero answers for what they've seen so far with the ball in the air. I'm not sure how they're going to change things around, but offensively, I keep attacking. I keep throwing the football until they make me change.
Stafford now already over 100 yards passing in just this first quarter. It's 1st and 10.
218, chop.
Now a give right side, Coleman. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. The first carry now. This is Johnson. And still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
On 3rd down, here's Coleman. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. 4th down now after a loss of 2.
They tried to run right into the teeth of the defense on 3rd down, but looked like those teeth were pretty sharp.
They were having absolutely none of it. Stuffed them for a loss.
Yeah, couldn't get any leverage up front and move people aside in order to run the ball.
So chalk that down as an 8-play drive capped with a field goal.
Yeah, as a friend of mine used to say, they were moving and grooving for a while, but they couldn't keep the momentum going enough to get a touchdown out of it.
Parkey now following the made field goal to kick this one off. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. And now a timeout called by the Cowboys defense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he's got the hook up here. It's Kyle Rudolph. 16 yards right off the bat and a first down.
A gain of 16 yards. First down, Cardinals.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. We are in for a good one as we're through one on EA Sports. Cardinal football here to start quarter number 2 as they've got it with a 1st and 10.
Where? 56. He's tired of me. He's tired of us. Mike 56. Mike 56.
They'll throw on first down with Wilson. And now he'll turn and off his back foot. Looking for Thomas, but that's intercepted. Picked off by Tavon Young. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27. He couldn't get the hook up there that time with Thomas.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
They'll start out on the ground with Coleman. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. And now it looks like we've got a Cowboy shaken up down there on the field. Hate to see this. Week 1 of the season. We'll be back. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10.
It's just me and you. It's just me and you.
A shotgun snap for Stafford. And he will find Ridley on the left side. 23 yards on the play.
It's a gain of 23 yards. That's another Cowboys first down. 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. Stafford going to give this one off to Johnson. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Now this one complete to Robert Foster. And they're going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made here at the Cardinals' 14.
Well, for teams that like to play man coverage, running corner routes can be tough on them because of the ability of getting into it. Sometimes you're squaring it off. Sometimes you're just rounding it. Sometimes there's a fake. Sometimes there's not. It makes it very, very difficult for a DB to stay with it.
Stafford now hitting on 80% of his passes in the early going. 8 of 10. It's 1st down. Here's Madison running on 1st down. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Brings up 2nd and 8 at the 11-yard line.
280, 50-50, big 20.
Game situation. Let's go.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12.
Set, 280.
Let's go, D.
Double right.
Patsy.
Recon, 132 fighter.
From the gun, a run for Johnson. And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. A rough go there on 3rd down, a loss of 4.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the 2nd quarter, but you're down.
Want to.
We know, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it. I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it. You mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that they've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9.
12. Blue down. Check 3.
From the gun, it's Wilson. He's going to wind up and air it out. And unable to connect, incomplete. Now give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes his quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. 51 yards on the punt there. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. Time for our first check of the NFL scoreboard. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. And we'll keep you abreast of how that one shakes out. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown. And that's caught inside the 30. Touchdown, Cowboys. Calvin Ridley, 73 yards. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. Now Parkey for the extra point. And that'll push the lead up to 29 now. Now after the score, it's Parkey on to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. Typically down in the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. You've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time, first half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass. Wilson. And almost picked off. I guess the good news for them now, it's 4th down. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. They are in the second quarter down in Miami. The Broncos have taken the early lead. That one tight to this point, and you'd have to imagine it'll stay tight throughout. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last
true.
time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
2nd and 10 from the 33-yard line. Throwing again. Stafford. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back. Complete. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
Brings up 3rd down.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend. And he's got a man, Calvin Ridley. It's a gain of 8, and it'll wind up moving the chains.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
From the 50, Stafford. The Cards get to him here. He's brought down for a sack. Jayon Brown. He's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Here's Stafford. And the pressure gets to him again. Credit the sack to Shaquem Griffin.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through.
Under pressure again, and down he goes again.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Around the NFL, we've got a second quarter score. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. And we'll try and keep you updated on those events and others around the league as we continue through this one. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot. One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. We'll see if week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them. To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Wilson. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down.
What has not been the best game for him, but he definitely tried to get by with a little help from his friend there, trying to create a big play.
Couldn't do it, fell incomplete, but you're right, hasn't been a banner game here in the second half, just trying to get going.
Big thing is trying to keep confidence up and continue to fire.
You got tight right there.
On third down, Wilson. Looking long for Thomas. And that is incomplete. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
Here's Johnny Hecker now as he's on to punt for Arizona. And that one came close to hitting the big scoreboard up there as the fair catch is made inside the 20-yard line.
At their own 16-yard line.
The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut him down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6. That's going to be a 6-yard gain. It leaves him with third down and just a yard to go. They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it was just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But it looks like they're ready to go.
The Cardinals take over first and 10 at their own 32-yard line.
Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Wilson. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. Thomas, the intended target.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10. And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
59!
From the 40 now on 2nd down. Stafford. And he's got this one complete to Callaway. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. Stafford now, 12 of 15 throwing the ball, 80% so far, and it's 1st and 10. Stafford. Throw right side, caught by Ridley. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Johnson running right. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
They stay on the ground on first with Johnson. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Set. Red 80. 55. 32.
You. Bang, 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 bang.
Draw play, Madison. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. That 2nd down play nets a -4. Well, he had 2 sacks earlier. Now he has 4 total tackles for a loss after that play.
Well, they obviously have to do a better job trying to block him. But short of that, the quarterback has to do? Make sure he doesn't hand it to him when he's back there thinking he's one of his own guys. His quickness, his suddenness, his speed getting into the offense's backfield has been something else in this game.
To throw is Stafford. And he gets this out to Foster on the right side. A good-looking drive for the Cowboys so far. It's a 1st down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Jayon Brown picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
It's interesting, partner, that most defenses try and guard the 35-yard line actively because they think the way kickers are nowadays, about a 52-yard field goal, they're kind of giving up points. But you get even deeper into territory, you get into the red zone, they're going to guard it even more, which means more pressure, more blitzing.
The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
40 got. 40 got. We own them. We own them.
On 3rd down, they run with Madison. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Taking it in from 14 yards out as his guys continue to pour it on. Parkey with the extra point, and the lead will swell by 1 more.
Cowboys 36, Cardinals nothing. Cody Parkey sets a
Now after the score, it's Parkey on to kick it away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And he'll probably wish he'd reconsidered here. It will cost him 10 yards as he's down at the 15.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on second down. From the shotgun, Wilson. And that will be incomplete. Another drive comes and goes. Still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
They'll break the huddle here and go for it. This is 4th down.
Watch the run. Mike 56. Mike 56. I'm coming. 56 to Mike, boys. 56. Check 56.
Here we go on 4th with Wilson. Gonna let it fly for Rudolph. And this is gonna be incomplete. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And Dallas, they'll take over in terrific field position.
10.
Here's a give to Madison running right. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down. This offense has had a lot to like in this game. I don't know that that last play, though, is going to make the highlight reel.
It's not going to make the highlight reel, but it will be the focus of the film session that the team has to sit through. I've sat through those before. Never any fun. You're always excited about your good plays, and they actually fast forward through those. All right, that was good. All right, great. They get to the bad ones and really illuminate them. Not cool.
And they won't be able to run another play. Time has expired on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Going to run with Madison again. And this play a lot like the previous one. Thanks to that stout Cardinal defense. Back-to-back, they've been tackled behind the line.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Throwing on 3rd and long. Stafford, he's going to let it go deep for the end zone. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
Parkey now, following the made field goal to kick this one off. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious.
And he will go down. A Cowboys sack. Joey Bosa getting him once again his third sack of the afternoon. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. They run. This is Cohen. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he can even get started. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down. Another example of just a dominant performance by this defense.
Yeah, you hear all the time about teams that try to steal signals from the other side and try and learn their signs and their tendencies. It's almost like they get the answers to the exam the night before and were well prepared for this final.
And he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
It's 4th down.
They're already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down.
One left. Touch 50, touch 50. Screen,
They'll try and throw for it with Wilson. And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack. They could not contain Kenny Clark as he gets home for the sack. And what can they do here on 2nd and goal? 3 red zone trips so far have yielded 2 touchdowns and a field goal. They'll try and run. This is Johnson. And he will take it in for a Cowboy score. A 5-yard touchdown run as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Now Parkey for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Now after the score, it's Parkey on to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
The Cardinals take over 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup and recover. Again, it's Cohen. And he's going to get forward for about 5, but that may be coming back. What say you, Mr. Referee? That hold coming from the middle of the line, the center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you've got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting it done.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. They try again with Cohen. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete. It was a safety, Kevin Byard, that time, who was able to knock it away. Here's Johnny Hecker now, standing just outside his own goal line. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Fielded just inside the 20. A good return there, 17 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 3rd down now as they look for one more first down to help salt this one away. Stafford. And the pressure will bring him down here. The Cardinals get home for the sack.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
This first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good.
Come on, fellas.
The Cardinals take over 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
Be honest.
don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Use that as ammo going
Exactly.
forward.
Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Tavon Young. That interception sets them up beautifully already in the red zone.
And you could hear it all the way up here. Oski, everyone turned to block, find a spot, and now they're set up inside the red zone for their offense.
A first down carry here for Johnson. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. It's a loss of 4 on the first down play. And the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. And this play a lot like the previous one, thanks to that stout Cardinal defense. Back-to-back, they've been tackled behind the line.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
So this one will end in a victory for the Dallas Cowboys. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a